People were having these profound religious and spiritual experiences in the mental health study. And they brought us in as religious professionals, people that have dedicated our vocation, a lot of study and practice to our religious tradition. So they brought us in, used the same protocol, so which was a medium high dose of psilocybin a month apart, and then tracked for 16 months with interviews and just to see how we were doing and what was coming up. And it changed it changed so much about my life. I knew after that first session, when I had a huge experience, what I think was a Pentecostal experience, it was definitely an experience of the Holy Spirit. So that makes it a Pentecostal experience. And I knew that it would change my work. I didn't know how. I was serving a parish in Seattle then. And right after that, or after I was in the study, I decided with my family, and I decided it was time to come back to the Southeast, where we were from. And I did, with a lot of clarity. And it took me about 5 years. I accepted a position at a church here in Savannah and spent about 5 years thinking, should I go be trained as a facilitator? Should I be a chaplain? Should I just keep doing what I'm doing and be ready to talk about it when the time comes? And I weighed all those. And in the middle of the pandemic, in fall of 2019, I went on a retreat in the desert with some friends, just a spiritual retreat. And really over the course of those days, realized there needed to be some place for Christians to talk about psychedelics and the psychedelic community to be more aware of really the beautiful best parts of Christianity around mystical experience and consciousness expansion and Jesus as a healer and the role of the church in healing and the intersection between mental health and spiritual health, which I think if the churches were fully doing their job as a place for people to get well, I'm not sure we'd need as many therapists as we do. But I think the church abdicated a lot of our responsibility to the professional clinicians when we had healthy community can solve a lot of problems, a healthy spiritual community. And we don't have a lot of those, sadly. So anyway, that was a long answer, but it was over the course of that time between the study in early 16 and the summer of 21 when I started Ligare, as a response to this calling I had to get the conversation started within Christianity, and to take the healing seriously. That's really where I think this most applies to Christianity. Is Jesus was a healer. The church for centuries built hospitals and trained nurses and doctors and really took healthcare seriously and mental health care in some quarters seriously. And I think there's a ministry for the church in this, and it's around this intersection of health and healing and spiritual wholeness, which I think psychedelics can be very helpful for.